everybody. This is Alan Elman, the Blue Collar Investor, with today's option selling question of the day. Today's question comes from Paul, and I've titled this video, Strike Selection After Rolling Out Our Portfolio Overwriting Trade. Hello, Alan. I use only portfolio overwriting where it is essential that my shares aren't sold. When the market rises a lot, I may have to roll the option out and up. This may result in a loss on the option side. My question is, how should I select the next strike given the option loss when rolling? I would appreciate any guidance, and it's signed, Paul. Okay, let's analyze this situation, see if we can come to some sensible conclusions. Let's first by starting off defining the strategy portfolio overwriting. Well, this is a form of covered call writing. It's not traditional covered call writing because here we have two distinctly defined goals. One, generating cash flow, which is really for all forms of covered call writing and option selling, we're looking to make money. But the other one is makes it a little bit different, and that is the importance of retaining the underlying shares. We don't want them sold, perhaps because they are of a low cost basis and we don't want any negative capital gains tax issues. In any case, those are the two goals. Now, the way we're going to do this is we're going to use deep out-of-the-money call strikes. In other words, agreeing to sell our shares at a much, much higher price than they're currently trading for. And that aligns with the goal of share retention. Now, the percent of premium returns when we're using portfolio overwriting is going to be lower than traditional because of the defensive nature of the trade. Now, a reasonable guideline range for annualized returns is 4 to 10%. Might be a little bit more, but that's basically a solid, reasonable guideline range over and above any money made from share appreciation and perhaps dividend income as well. So that is our starting point now. Deep out-of-the-money call strikes with a goal of 4 to 10% annualized returns, and it might be a little bit higher. So what happens when, despite using that deep out-of-the-money call strike, market movement makes that a particular strike move to in the money? In other words, the price of the stock moved above the deep out-of-the-money call strike, leaving it currently in the money as expiration is taking place. Well, what we have to do then to avoid exercise is to buy back that option. And as Paul said in his question, sometimes that will result in a negative situation in terms of buying back and then reselling the next contract cycle's out-of-the-money call strike, which is what happened here. So how does that debit, that option debit from rolling, impact our decision as to what strike price to use for that later dated option contract? Or should it have any influence at all on these determinations? Well, this video is going to analyze a real-life situation with NVIDIA listed on the NASDAQ under the ticker NVDA. I'm sure most of you are familiar with NVIDIA. So here we go. And these trades were started on 5/12 when Paul sent me the email and expire about 5 weeks later, 6/20/2025. So on 5/12, 100 shares of NVIDIA were purchased at $123. And you could see here that the very deep out-of-the-money call strike of 143 was sold at $1.56 a share. That seems like almost impossible that in 5 weeks, NVIDIA is going to go higher than 143, but it did. Okay, here we go. Expiration Friday. NVIDIA is trading at 143.85, 85 cents above the 143, one steep out of the money call strike, now slightly in the money. So what do? Well, we roll the option. And so the 143 call was bought back, and the price was 88 cents. Now that's 85 cents of intrinsic value plus 3 pennies of time value. So that is the debit, 88 cents per share, $88 a contract. Now, at the time, we're going to roll up to the 160 strike. Remember, NVIDIA is trading at 143.85. So that again is very deep out of the money, but it only generated a premium of 78 cents, meaning that there was a loss of 10 cents a share on that roll. All right, so how are we going to do this? How are we going to make sense of whether or not the initial trade was appropriate and what strike do we select for the next contract cycle? Well, although this is a little blurry, I think you could read it. And this is a screenshot of the option chain on 5/12 when NVIDIA was trading at 123 and the 143 strike was sold at $1.56. Now, if you take a look at the delta, that says 18%. Again, a little blurry, but that's what it says, 18%. That means that there was approximately an 18% probability of that option expiring in the money, which is what happened. It expired in the money by 85 cents. All right, so there was an 82% probability of not expiring in the money, not being subject to exercise, but that, that's not what happened. Okay, so that was a reasonable approach to portfolio overwriting. Now, if you take a look at the actual initial return, the $1.56 premium, I reduced it on the trade management calculator spreadsheet to 68 cents, deducting the cost, the 88 cents to buy to close that original 143 strike. So that netted a premium of 68 cents. The original 156 minus the 88 cents, and that left us 68 cents. That calculated to a 40-day return of 0.55%, which annualizes out to 5.04%. And folks, that's still within our 4 to 10% range, even though we had to take a debit to buy back that call. Now, the upside potential, which was reached, I would call it unrealized, was another 16.26%. So all in all, on that particular contract cycle with share appreciation and option credit was nearly a 17% 40-day trade. So it was really, really a successful trade. All right, so now let's move on now to the next contract cycle on 6/20 to the 7/18, almost a month out expiration. So what do we have? Well, let's look at the delta column. Well, let's see if a strike makes any sense for us. Well, if we take a look at the 160 strike, remember 143.85 is what NVIDIA was trading at. If we take a look at that really deep out of the money 160 strike, you could see it had a delta of 13% and it had a bid price, as I mentioned before, of 78%. Well, where does that leave us? Well, that leaves us with a 0.54%, about a month out return, annualizing out to 7.07%. Remember, that is the option premium only. It does not include any share appreciation. Once again, it does fall into that 4 to 10% range. The risk factor of being subject to exercise, 13%, 87% probability of not being subject to exercise. Well, what if the same thing happens on 7/18 and the price of NVIDIA is above that 160 strike? Well, pure and simple, we roll it again. Let's summarize now. When using the strategy of portfolio overwriting, rolling an option plays absolutely no role in the strike selection for the next contract cycle. None. Since share retention is critical to our strategy goals, only deep out of the money, much higher strikes are used. And the risk of exercise must be quantified. How much risk are you willing to take? And what is your predetermined return goal range? In my case, 4 to 10% annualized. Now, delta is a very reliable metric for quantifying risk. Can also use implied volatility, something that I've talked about quite a bit in other videos and in my blog articles and books and so on and so forth. But in this particular video, we showed you how to use delta. Okay, to learn more about trading options, covered calls, cash secured puts, go to thebluecollarinvestor.com, click on the store link, best packages. What do you find? Our main package, the BCI package, that's our main one. It has 18 components, 6 online video courses, about 2 hours each with downloadable workbooks, 6 spreadsheets developed by BCI, found nowhere else, 5 of our best-selling books in ebook format on both calls and puts, and best of all, our 13-month annual premium membership where you get 4 reports of eligible option candidates, along with over 250 training videos and much more. The second of our best discounted packages is the Trade Management Calculator package. You saw that one of the screenshots in this video. It is a must spreadsheet for covered calls and cash secured puts. It comes with a 28-page user guide, along with a PDF of my 8th book, Exit Strategies for Covered Call Writing and Selling Cash Secured Puts, 27 chapters of exit strategy information. The third of our best discounted packages is our CEO package, combining exchange traded funds with stock options. It is a streamlined approach to covered call writing for those of us with very busy schedules, and it includes 2 spreadsheets developed by BCI, one that will help us set up our portfolios based on diversification and cash allocation. Also, a spreadsheet to archive our results and to compare it to that of the S&P 500. It also includes a PDF of my 9th book, Covered Call Writing, A Streamlined Approach. Now, when you click on that CEO package, you can get that as a standalone product, combine it with the TMC package, or get all the packages for one combined lowest discount price. You can also go to the store and go to Build Your Own Toolkit and get items individually. So, folks, that concludes this Ask Alan video. It's the 237th one that we've produced. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank Paul very much for the question and allowing me to share this information with the entire BCI community. So thanks to Paul, and thanks to all of you for taking the time to watch and listen to this Ask Alan video. Hope you enjoyed it, and more importantly, I hope it puts cash in your pockets. As always, this is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor. Take care, everybody.